Good evening, friends. I'm Unmesh Dikshit, Chairman PR Committee, Ahmedabad Management Association, welcoming you all. Thank you very much for coming on a Saturday eve for a open lecture series. Dr. Jai Tharur. Wow. It is always a good emotions when we introduce a senior learned friend who is very senior and professional in his own field, known for some versatile work. And he agreed to be a part of Ahmedabad Management Association for this talk. He is a leadership expert and growth hacker. He can hack you also. Please be aware about it. Password अपना जमा करके रखिए. Since last 23 years, he has been into this field. He is into advertising, branding, and corporate growth strategies. In his successful career span over 2 decades, he has been helping his clients to define and develop their brands. On the creative front, he has conceptualized and created around 300 campaigns written and directed in the form of several ads and several events or several PR communication activities. In addition to corporate field, Jai Tharur ji is much more sought after expert in the field of political communication. Wow, this is an interesting topic, political communication. We all see or we all feel or we all read political communication. He is the man behind designing that political communication, I would say. He has been advising MP and union ministers across the state and in India for how to become a political effective communicator. He has been advisor and media communication at Chief Minister's office in Gujarat recently with Shri Vijay Rupani ji, our ex-CM. He was there with him. Jai Tharur ji has done his graduation and post-graduation from St. Xavier's College, Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. PhD in mass communication from Pandit Dindayal Petroleum University, Gujarat, and hails from the state of Kerala, but has equal command over Hindi, Gujarati, and English. He is an author, public speaker, and great nationalist with a mission to work for the unity and integrity of India. He lives in Ahmedabad and with his wife and daughter. We welcome Dr. Jai Tharur for your session today. He is known shortly as brand strategist, and today he will be talking with us on personal branding, how it is important for the society, be it any product, any services, or any person to look after. Dr. Jai Tharur, over to you.
So pranam and namaskar. I welcome you all to this fabulous session of personal branding. Personal branding as a subject has been very close to my heart since a long time. And as a subject, personal branding has been much sought after by the powerful and the successful in the West, especially in the US. Now, before we understand or try to understand what is personal branding and what amounts to personal branding, I want to give you a small, brief history. How did personal branding as a concept come into being? We all know that in 20s, there was a Great Depression in America. Economy was down, productivity was down, unemployment was very high, and America had all kind of problems that one could imagine. Therefore, depression itself is a negative word, but they put another suffix great. So it was a Great Depression which was in 20s and which went on till 30s. So in those days, those who could do something, they used to, motivate themselves and motivate others to do some good work. वैसे भी ज़िंदगी में कभी बाहर अगर अंधेरा हो और अगर बहुत सारे आवश्यकताएं बाहर नहीं पूरी होती है तो हम हमारी आंतरिक शक्तियों का यूज़ करते हैं. So in those days, one man called Napoleon Hill, in early 30s, he made a list of 200 most successful people who, in spite of all the problems, had succeeded in whatever they are doing. And he tried to analyze what was the personality trait, what was the qualities of these people who were successful and what motivated them and what was the precise recipe for their success. And then he took example of people from US as well as Europe. And then he converted into a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book was released in 1935. But even today, At that time, this book was the largest read book in the world. Even today, you can buy it from Crossword. This book gave rise to this idea of personal transformation, that how can personal traits and personal qualities help you to achieve success in life. As a concept, this got more insight, lot of people worked on it, and this went on for decades together. In 1981, someone called L. Rice and Jack Trott, they wrote a book called The Battle for Your Mind. Now this book, The Battle for Your Mind, spoke in length about the personal traits and personal qualities that contributed towards making you a successful people. But they also said that mind is the most powerful instrument that one could have. If you can train your mind to serve you, you can be successful. In 1997, someone called Tom Peters, he wrote an article, not even a book. He wrote an article called The Brand Called You. And in that article, he used the word personal branding. And that was it. The world got the term. Unitedly, this word personal branding was accepted to represent as a term for personal transformation, for success habits and all. And personal branding has been a subject that has been followed ever since. As I said, people invest in branding of product. People also invest in organizational branding, corporate branding, but there is a defined set of people who invest in personal branding. They have their personal brand gurus to advise them, help them, and that is something that is now slowly coming to India also. Now, the question is that if you want to understand what is personal branding, then the most important thing is that you need to understand the basic words of brand and branding. What is brand? Since we are talking about personal branding, we are talking about persons and individuals. So brand is the impression that people have in their minds about a person or an individual. So what people think about you is your personal brand. लोग आपके बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, लोग आपके बारे में क्या धारणा अपने मन में रखते हैं, ये आपकी पर्सनल ब्रांड है. Your personal brand exists in the minds of people. Now one may want to, because हम लोगों ने तो गाना सुना है कि कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, लेकिन ये सब गानों के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, असली जिंदगी में अगर इस पर फॉलो किया तो बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाएगी. लोग क्या सोचते हैं इससे फर्क पड़ता है. क्यों पड़ता है? Why? Because we don't live in a jungle, we don't live in a cave, we don't live in isolation. Right from the birth to death, we live in our families with our family members, we study in school, we study in college, we work in offices, we live in society. Right from birth to death, we deal with people every day. Therefore, your success, your defeat, and your standing in society is directly proportional to the connect that you have with people. And people are important. Therefore, it is better to respect people and respect your connection with people. Now, as I said, yes, what people think about you is your brand value. In that context, each one of you sitting here is a personal brand. Because we all have our own world to live, and people think about us. In fact, in Gujarati also and Hindi, there is a word કે એ ભાઈની છાપ બહુ સારી છે, આ ભાઈની છાપ સારી નથી, અમારી છાપ, અમારા કંપનીની છાપ, મેરી છાપ. Hindi, Gujarati both has this word chap. Chap is what? It is the impression that people have in their minds. Now, what difference it makes? Why should you worry about what people think about you? I said that we are living in an interconnected world. And then at present we are faced with two issues. One is that we are living in a world of over communication. There are so many television channels, tens of radios, there are so many newspapers, we have got family, friends, we have got social media, we are bombarded with so many informations that our mind cannot process it. The information that is bombarded on us cannot be processed by mind. Therefore, there is a straight confusion in our minds about anything. The clarity I mean, it takes more time for you to decide, yes, this is it. On a very funny thing, if I tell you, if you ask me, आपने कौन से color का t-shirt पहना, I can tell you I'm wearing a red. But then you can always come back and tell me, no, it's not red, it's actually crimson red. Somebody could say, no, it's post office red. Somebody could say it is a brick red. Somebody could say it's a Spanish red. Somebody could say it's a fire red. But there are 28 shades of red. Then if somebody comes and asks me, आपने कौन से color का t-shirt पहना, I'll get confused. I'll say, wait, I'll get back to you, because I want to be precise. Having said this, over communication always keeps us confused. Then second problem is that along with corona, the biggest epidemic, the pandemic, is attention deficit. We are living in a world where the attention deficit is too much. We are not able to concentrate on the things because of this over communication and the communication consumption. We are slave of our habits, we are slave of our cell phones. Even at home when we sit, we are busy, we don't pay attention, all of us. We go to school, colleges, you demand a salary from the office that you work, but even there you are busy with your cell phones. तो आप ये सोचिए कि इस दुनिया में अगर लोगों को अपने लिए वो चिंता करने का समय नहीं है, अपने बारे में सोचने का समय नहीं है, तो उनसे ये कैसे उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि वो आपके बारे में सोचे और आपके बारे में सही सोचे? This is too much. Therefore, personal branding is when you take upon yourself to decide how the world will perceive you. Personal branding is when you take upon yourself to decide what impression the world will keep about you. Personal branding is when you take upon yourself to design your own impression. Even when a friend or a relative or a family member, if they misunderstand us, it pains us. हम कोशिश करते हैं कि वो clarity हो जाए, वो हमें समझे. And just imagine, पूरी जिंदगी अगर दुनिया हमें न समझे, just one life. So it's either do or die. Anyway, we all are going to die someday. We have come to this world with an expiry date. Each one of us has to go. So it is better to do. So personal branding is basically taking upon yourself to decide how the world will perceive you and your right impression goes. Personal branding has been discussed in India for quite some time. It's not a big story, but about 7-8 years I've been hearing about that. It has still not been defined, and I have not found a lot of successful people appointing personal brand gurus for them or guide for them. I have myself worked with a section of people in Mumbai and other places. So I have worked with some music composers. I have worked with industrialists. I have worked with politicians, union ministers. That gave me an insight, the importance. I may not be important, but Mr. Vijay Rupani is very important. If the way he conducts can be perfect, it really helps him as well as his work and Gujarat. Now I want to tell you a small story. So in India there is always a lot of people who claim to know, क्योंकि if anything fad आता है तो हमारे यहाँ पर बहुत जल्दी उसके experts भी आ जाते हैं. So I want to tell you a real story, a real life story जो हुआ था. This happened in January 2020. That was 3 months before Corona. I have known somebody for 2 decades. He's a man who has a factory. उनकी एक फैक्ट्री है, 20-25 करोड़ का वो टर्नओवर करते हैं. सेल्फ मेड मैन है, इसीलिए मैं उनकी बड़ी इज्जत करता हूँ. I have always known him. But उनकी खास बात ये है कि there was always a dichotomy in his expression. वो जो हैं और वो जो दिखाना चाहते थे उसमें बड़ा confusion रहता था. But anyway, he is an achiever, तो मैं उनकी बड़ी इज्जत करता हूँ. So जनवरी 2020 में कहीं सोशली मिलना हुआ तो मुझे बाजू में ले गए, बोले जय भाई प्लीज कम. He said, how do I look? So I said, आप अच्छे दिख रहे हैं. बोले come on, ठीक से देखो. I mean, if somebody comes to you and say कि आप कैसे लगते हो, I mean, you just have few answers to give. I said, आपने कपड़े बहुत अच्छे पहने. And then he said, that's it, Jai bhai, you are such a smart person. This is precisely what I wanted to hear. He said, now this fitting that I'm wearing is slim fit. अच्छा. He said, not only that, I have reduced 7 kgs. दिख रहा है? I said, नहीं, आप वाकई में बड़े अच्छे लग रहे हैं. He said, not only that much. If you note, my English has improved. I have crammed one-liners. I can speak 25 one-liners in English. Not only that, when I talk in Hindi and Gujarati, I have memorized panktiyan Hindi or Gujarati mein. He said, now when I talk in English, I throw one-liners. When I talk in Hindi and Gujarati, I use, panktiyan, do line ki panktiyan. He said, now I have arrived. He said, this is the power of personal branding. अब जब तक उसने पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग नहीं बोला था तब तक तो लाइक आई वाज ओके, लेकिन द मोमेंट ही सेड पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग, सो मैं बड़ा खुश हो गया. वो जो मुगेम्बो खुश हुआ था ऐसे जय थरूर खुश हो गया. मैंने कहा अच्छा, मैंने कहा दिस इज पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग, वाओ. मैंने कहा प्लीज एक्सप्लेन मोर. सो ही सेड, जय भाई, I've got an image consultant and she's so good, she's so powerful and she's so visionary. So she's the person who told me that I should wear slim fit shirts. All my life some bloody fool told me 20 years back that comfort is everything. So all my life I used to wear a shirt which was one sized over, and how foolish I was. And he said, this lady, my image consultant, she made me watch videos for hours and hours together. I said, videos for what? He said, she made me watch how successful people walk, how do they talk, how do they shake hands, and how they keep their body straight and this and that. He said, Jai bhai, I have arrived and I am so happy. For me, this man had arrived when he pulled his family out of poverty. Because when he was studying a diploma in engineering, his father had a small shop with 2 lathe machines. But this man started a small factory. In 20 years, he took it to 25 crores turnover. For me, this man had arrived when he pulled his family out of poverty. For me, this man had arrived when he became capable of giving employment to 150 people. This man arrived for me when he was paying taxes in lakhs and helping this country. So for me, this man had arrived much before. But he did not believe that. He only believed that now he has arrived when he is wearing the slim fit clothes, now when he can throw one-liners, now when he can speak Kabita ki panktiyan. Just imagine. The problem is that personal branding is when you know yourself. सबसे बड़ी पहचान आपकी आपके साथ होनी चाहिए. दुनिया को अगर आपने मिस कर दिया तो चलेगा, लेकिन आप खुद को मिस नहीं कर सकते. You need to know yourself the best. With all the due respects to this man who was so happy, and with all the due respects to his image consultant, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग इज नॉट, ये ऊपर ऊपर का कुछ नहीं है. पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग इज नॉट सुपरफिशियल, इट इज नॉट पेरिफेरल. Personal branding is not about wearing good dress, talking sweet. Personal branding is not about the way you stand, the way you sit, and the way you shake hands with people. No. Personal branding is not about adopting identities that are artificial and packaged. Personal branding is not trying to pretend or trying to be fake. Because when you are fake, the world will catch you red-handed. Your reputation will be at stake. And you will end up arousing the exact opposite emotion that you ideally wanted to have for yourself. Everything will fall flat if you are fake. Therefore, personal branding is not about doing all this. And just imagine how much energy, how much time goes into pretending or trying to be what you are not. You will be exhausted. You will not be having any time to invest in who you are, what you are. So the question is, what is personal branding? Personal branding is about you. Personal branding is about your relation with your own self. There is a beautiful word in our scriptures called swarth, that is swaha vatta arth, knowledge of the self. Personal branding is knowing self. Personal branding is not about wearing good dress and all this. Personal branding is an honest, brutally honest self-audit in which you analyze your own self and you come to conclusion where you understand with clarity what are your strengths, what is your area of influence. You work on it and you make it strong. Personal branding is when you have more clarity about what are your limitations, what is your weakness. Personal branding is about learning new skills. Personal branding is about creating a skill set. Personal branding is when you take charge of your life. Personal branding is when you lead from within. Because if you cannot lead your life, you cannot lead anything in this world. If you want to lead outwardly, you have to lead from within. If you are not an inherent leader, you cannot lead anything. No office, no business, no political party, no country, no family, nothing. Personal branding is all about loving yourself. Personal branding is believing in yourself. Because if you do not believe in yourself, the world will not believe. The belief has to start from you. Personal branding is when you make yourself the most important project of your life. I repeat, personal branding is when you make yourself the most important project of your life and work on it with full energy and total belief. Now, when this talk was announced, that I was invited by AMA to talk on this, I received a lot of phone calls from acquaintances and friends, and they asked me, Jay bhai, please, are you going to give us some tips कि एकदम जल्दी कैसे फेमस हो सकते हैं, हम क्या गिमिक कर सकते हैं सोशल मीडिया पर, कुछ ऐसा बताइए कि लोग हमें एकदम शेर समझने लगे. और so these phone calls actually my whole talk was given a direction because of these phone calls. Out of 10 phone calls I received, 8 people wanted me to give them some shortcut, some kuch bhi, what you are not, trying to pretend. I just want to tell you that personal branding is not about pretending, as we already discussed. It is not about lying. It is not about fooling anybody or fooling, for that matter, your own self. Personal branding is about truth. So, in case you want to do say marketing of yourself, please understand, आप किसी चीज का मार्केटिंग जब करते हैं तो उसकी पहली आवश्यकता है कि आपकी प्रोडक्ट बहुत अच्छी हो. अगर प्रोडक्ट अच्छी नहीं है तो वो मार्केट में बिकेगी नहीं. पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग आस्क्स यू टू मेक योरसेल्फ, इन दिस केस यू आर द प्रोडक्ट. So if you make yourself very strong, then there would be a lot of people who will want to buy you. Buy you means connect with you. There will be a lot of takers for your product. Your product will be accepted. If you are a true leader, people will want to follow you, because as humans needs to breathe, society needs leaders. And when I say leaders, I don't mean just the political leaders. In the family, in the society, everywhere we need leaders. Sir is a leader of AMA. So basically, if you have those qualities, people will definitely react to you. As far as personal branding, the concept is concerned, personal branding tells you that please unapologetically market yourself. Talk about who you are. Talk about what you believe. Talk about your passions. Talk about your convictions. But based on truth. पहले एक बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाइए, और प्रोडक्ट बनाने के बाद आपके पास ये सारे सोशल मीडिया और जो भी प्लेटफॉर्म, इस वक्त मैं आपके सामने बोल रहा हूं, हम लोग सब मिले हैं, आपके पास जो भी मौका, आपके परिवार में, आपके मित्रों के साथ, आपके ऑफिस में, आपका जो भी इंटरेक्शन होगा, प्लीज unapologetically you market yourself, but based on truth, based on what you believe. In social media, see, this whole subject of marketing yourself can take up to 5 hours workshop. So if I ever do a workshop, please attend, and that I will only devote to marketing yourself, how to market oneself. But one thing is sure, that we are not marketing anything fake. In social media, I follow many people whom I even don't know. Like for example, I am very much interested in personal finance. There is somebody who every day he would post 5 tweets. I sometimes imagine 365 days, how can somebody post so many meaningful tweets on personal finance? I religiously, every day, my day cannot end without reading each and every of his tweets. There is no way in the world I could be interested in saris. No way. Because my wife also doesn't wear sari. But there is some lady, she writes about sari, she connects sari with the Indian culture, She talks about the geographical importance and the cultural importance of saris. She talks about the fabric. She talks about the weave. And because I love my country, I love my culture, I love my civilization, and she's telling me something fabulous that I didn't know, I follow her religiously and talk with my wife. I say, I read this, and she's telling, "Aapko sari mein interest kyun ho gaya?" All I'm trying to say that there was substance in what she was writing, so she pulled a follower. So it is not that who will follow you, you don't know. But अगर आपके बातों में conviction है, तो definitely लोग आपको follow करना चाहेंगे. There is always a brand stands for something. Mercedes-Benz is class. One word. The brand Mercedes-Benz is class. Mercedes-Benz is class. BMW is driving experience. Volvo is safety. America is superpower. Pakistan is terrorism. India is spiritualism. Amitabh Bachchan is megastar. Modi hai to Modi is possibility. Amir Khan is perfectionist. आप क्या हो? What are you? So when you do that honest, brutal self-audit doesn't happen in 2 hours. I took 6 months to self-audit before few years, because for me, Jai Tharur is the most important project of my life. So I took 6 months to do a brutal self-audit. I talked to a lot of friends means who mattered to me, whom I knew that they would definitely talk to me. I asked them, what is in me that you feel that I should leave? It is irritating, it is stopping my progress. Fortunately in my life I had friends, I have made some very good connections. They told me, they gave me a list of things. He said, Jai, these things are not desirable in your personality, please remove them. And I did not take them on face value. I thought about it, I pondered about it for a few months. Then I asked them, what is the quality in me that you feel is good? I should be reinforcing it, I should be making it strong. I got a list of things. Then I consulted, what are the qualities that I don't have? What are the skills that I don't have, I should have? So I got that also. So after that self-audit, I became so-called product. When I say product means this. And now when on social media, or today I talk about 2 subjects. One is brand and second is nationalism. So anybody, if you come to Jai Tharur, whether you come to my Facebook, whether you come to my Twitter, I've just joined Twitter because I was not allowed, because I was working with the Chief Minister. But when you come to Twitter, you will only find 2 subjects that I talk. I talk on brands and I talk on nationalism. Because for me, Bharat is my Ratna. I love this country so much. So I talk about it and I talk about brands. So people have a reason. When you market yourself, there are 2 consistencies that you need to have. Consistency of your content. If you are confused, your audience would be confused. As I said, all these names that I said, they stand for one word. You should stand for something. Write what you are passionate about. Write about things that you can talk with conviction, and write about things where you want to give. One has to be an eternal giver. You should feel that you are contributing to the world by speaking about something or by raising some issue. At least you are encouraging the discussion on that topic. So if there is consistency of your content and consistency of posting, आज post किया 2 महीने तक आपने ज़माने को मुंह भी नहीं दिखाया तो किसी को कुछ पड़ी नहीं. I already said the world owes you nothing, no attention, no eyeballs, क्योंकि दुनिया को उनके लिए टाइम नहीं, तो आपके बारे में सोचने का किसी को टाइम नहीं. So when I got these phone calls that Jai bhai, are you going to teach us shortcuts to fame, shortcuts to become sensations, to become famous in our groups? Frankly, no. But yes, only to that extent that the concept of personal branding tells you that unapologetically talk about yourself, market yourself, there is no problem, but no fooling around, no, not fooling yourself or the world. Anything that is based on truth, because we are 140 people. लोग कहेंगे मेरा काम बोलता है, अरे मेरा काम है, उसको क्रेडिट मिल जाएगा, उसका काम है, उसको क्रेडिट मिल जाएगा, किसके पास टाइम है? So you have to take it on yourself to tell कि ये मैं हूँ. So the work that you do and the person that you are, you have to bring it closer. The moment I say Lata Mangeshkar, the difference between Lata Mangeshkar and music has ended. The moment music you say Lata ji comes, and the moment you say Lata ji, there is music comes. So the person, the art and the artist both have become one, and that is the strong brand of Lata Mangeshkar. So these are the topics about marketing, or whether one should be apologetic about marketing self. No, one should be more confident about that. Now coming back to the what are the building blocks of personal branding. So I have curated seven building blocks to create a very strong personal brand, and I shall tell you about them. The first building block of personal brand, these are the building blocks that will help you to create a strong personal brand. First is authenticity. Please don't try to be anyone else. Please don't try to copy somebody. Be as authentic as possible, because without good, bad, ugly, be authentic, be what you are. Even if you are wrong, you will get an opportunity to move in the right direction. So authenticity is the first building block of personal branding. The second building block of personal branding is uniqueness, originality, uniqueness. I want all of you to fall in love with this word unique, because God, or the divine power that has given existence to you, has made you one piece. There is, in this world, there is nobody like you. You are just one unique person. There is nobody like you. Everyone else is taken. You are only unique. Your experiences of life, your triumphs, tribulations, your success, your failure, and whole set of emotions that you live is uniquely yours. Therefore, when I said do a self-audit and make yourself strong, then it means that you are accepting that you are unique, and you are reinforcing your uniqueness, and you are celebrating your uniqueness. In this world, people could be faster than you, people could be better than you, people could be funnier than you, but they cannot be you. You are unique. And this uniqueness is gifted to you by the divine. So the second point of the building block of personal branding is, first was authenticity, and second is uniqueness. Third, I have mixed two words. One is values and second is actions. I have clubbed these two words. When you do this self-audit, and when you come to this conclusion that you are the most important project of your life, then a world cannot move without values, without set of values. When I went to work with the chief minister, I had decided one thing. मैं एक भी रुपए ऐसे नहीं कमाऊंगा जिसमें मेरी मेहनत न हो, मेरा परिश्रम न हो, मेरा पुरुषार्थ न हो, एक भी रुपए नहीं. I worked for 3 years closely with the chief minister, लेकिन एक बार भी my actions I did not live. I lived that virtue which I had decided. And now just few days back, someone very important, a chief minister of some other state, asked Rupani ji, ki, can we trust Jai Tharur? And Rupani ji said, he is the most trustworthy man. He worked with me for 1000 days, but not even single. He came to me and said, ke sahib atlu kaam patavi apo. Never. He is a man of great character, and this is the personal brand I aimed, because I believed in some values. So when you do this self-audit, you need to fix your values, and your actions should be aligned with your values. Then only a true brand comes, because I said originality shows. So the first building block was authenticity, second was uniqueness, third is values and actions. Then comes mindset. Mindset is so important if you want to succeed in the recipe of success. If you want to become a very strong personal brand, mindset is very important. There are two words I want to tell you. One is abundance mindset, and second is scarcity mindset. To explain this point, let me give you a little funny example. Now, if I stand here and make an argument with you that I was standing in this room all alone with enjoying all the oxygen here, and you people came here and you took away my oxygen, now I am not enjoying the kind of oxygen, would you believe me? You would not believe. You would not believe because you believe that there is abundance of oxygen. It is because you believe in the abundance of oxygen. But when it comes to money, we we become scarcity mindset. First and foremost, we believe that there is not enough money in this world, and if at all there is enough money in this world, there isn't enough money for us. We believe that only Shilpa Shetty and John Abraham can have great health. Me and you cannot have. This is scarcity mindedness. Whether it is money, whether it is health, whether it is wealth, whether it is friends, love, family, happiness, believe me, there is plenty of everything in this world. You just need to fix your mindset and believe in yourself, and that is what brings you to abundance mindset. So a personal brand can only be built if you believe in abundance mindset. So we talked about authenticity, we talked about uniqueness, we talk about values and actions, we talk about mindset. Then comes a flow of life. Whenever you are deeply interested, when you make yourself the most important project and you work on yourself, you do self-audit and you work upon yourself, there is always an unseen force that tells you that you are not alone. And this spiritual aspect has been introduced by me. This is not followed in West, because this is India and we have a civilization, and our Hindu philosophy says there is an unknown power, and I have experienced it so many times in my life, and I have talked to a lot of people, of successful people. They have told me, जब आप यज्ञ कार्य करते हो, when you make yourself the most important project of your life, it is equivalent to an yajna karya, and when you do that, many a times there is a power that helps you. I started my career as a creative writer, but when I started, the word creative writer did not exist. We were all copywriters. Everyone was a copywriter. So slowly and slowly, to give respect to this, we created a word called creative writer. Now writing itself is so creative, I don't understand still what is a creative writing and non-creative writing, but anyway. Now I got interested that I wanted to understand how brands are built. For that, I needed to understand what marketing was, and what is consumer psychology, consumer buying preference, consumer shifting habits. Those things had to be studied. So I did a lot of research, only to realize that I loved research and I had a deep inclination, and I used to do a lot of research. And whenever I used to advise my clients, my advice would be based on the research that I did. Now a lot of friends who were very close to me told me, Jay, if you are so much interested in research, why don't you do a PhD? So I did a PhD and I completed it and got a doctorate. Now if you ask me, did you want to be a PhD doctor? No. Did I plan? No. This was a side gift that life gave me. But I was with the flow. Even a dead fish can move to some direction if it is with the flow. There is a saying, even if a dead fish, if the flow, if you put, it will reach somewhere. And when we sail, when the boats sail in the water, if the wind is in the direction where they want to go, it helps them flow more easily. But a personal brand cannot remain confused, because if you are confused, if you don't know what direction you want to flow, then even a good wind cannot help you. Therefore, having clarity is very important. I was deeply interested in data mining because I had heard about it. Except the spelling of data mining, I did not know anything. So I got hold of a small bunch of young statisticians, and we collected a lot of data, and we analyzed it, and we did a lot of work for a couple of years, 3-4 years. We did, and we derived a lot of conclusions. And I had taken the subject of elections, how elections are fought, why people vote, and what are the reasons why people vote, what are the emotions that can be touched. Then I also collected a lot of data about the welfare schemes that government did. I wanted to know, does these schemes really help people? So I did a lot of research, and I thought, if I cannot take this to the right person, all this will not help me. So after trying hard for 15 months, 15, I mean almost impossibility situations, I could reach Vijay Rupani. He was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. I said, sir, I have got some fabulous insights about the government schemes and these kind of things. So I told him these things. He got interested. I didn't know him, he didn't know me. So there was, and every day, he would receive a lot of people. So he got interested. He said, Jay, please work on this. He gave me some homework to do. I did that. This all went on for 1.5 years. Then one day he was tired. He said, "જય ભાઈ તમે આ બધું રહેવા દો, તમે હું મુખ્યમંત્રી છું ત્યાં સુધી તમે મુખ્યમંત્રી કચેરી જોઈન કરો અને આ બધી વાતમાં તમે મને એડવાઇસ કરો." So I became the advisor to Chief Minister and worked for 3 years. Now if you ask me, did I want to? Did I plan? No. But I was with the flow. For me, the work was very important and I wanted to contribute something. I wanted to uplift. In our scriptures, there are 2 words. Hindu scriptures say the objective of life has to be 2 reasons. One is Atmanam Moksharthe and second is Janhitai. Atmanam Moksharthe means whatever you do in life, it should uplift you, it should liberate you, it should benefit you. But at the same time, it should also benefit others. If you can match these 2 things, miracles will happen. So believe in the flow of life. Sometimes you cannot see what is going to happen, but if your yajna karya is really good and if you really love yourself and if you really believe that this is one life and I'm not going to miss it, then please wait for miracles. Miracles do happen. So being with the flow, after being with the flow, a strong personal brand has to unlearn. Now we hear this word unlearn so many times. That I have to unlearn. But then we don't know what is this unlearning. How do you unlearn things? Basically, I understand that unlearning is to decondition your mind. I don't know whether deconditioning or, but you have to remove the conditions that over a period of time that you have gathered. हम लोग जिंदगी में बहुत सारे belief को मानते हैं because by human nature we all are conformist. Human being conformist होता है. वो स्कूल में जाता है तो वो कोशिश करता है कि उसके क्लास के सभी लोगों के साथ वो मिक्स हो जाए और उसे लोग एक्सेप्ट करें and then he becomes part of the group. So in this whole process of conformity, what happens is that your mind gets conditioned. Now I conducted a research and this is very interesting research. In this research, 95% of the people, both who were successful and who were waiting for their success, they had big issues with their physical looks. 95% लोग ये मान रहे थे कि they were not enough handsome and they were not enough beautiful. उनको looks को लेकर उनको complex है. 95% of the people, as I said, both successful and who were waiting for success, they all felt कि वो बड़े conscious थे. उनके मन में कहीं ये feeling था कि हम हमारे physical, we are not enough handsome and enough beautiful, and they also believed that good looks has something to do with your success, and good, if you are not good looking, then it affects your success. ये मानते हैं लोग. One of the reason could be that post, वैसे तो अनादिकाल से, but post independence films have been the most our mode of entertainment, and these film stars have set in our mind looks के बारे में. So we always feel कि if I don't look certain way, अगर मैं गोरा चिट्टा नहीं हूँ, XY blah blah blah, so they have this complex. So me and my team, we did further research and we came to a conclusion which is very interesting. My conclusion says that your looks has nothing to do with your success or failure. Your look does not contribute to your success, nor it is a reason for. Then what is? It is the cumulative impact of your personality that contributes to your success. I repeat, cumulative impact of your personality. Cumulative means this plus this plus this plus this plus this. We have a range of qualities, and in this society, in our family, everywhere, people don't accept us or connect with us just one thing. They connect us totally, and there is a cumulative impact. Let me give you an example. 40 years back, a man, Kapil Dev, he joined the Indian cricket team. By the film industry standards, not by my standard, your standard, or standards of truth. By film industry standard, he was not a good looking man. He was dark skinned, he had big teeth, and he was not an orator. Kapil Paji is still not a good orator. But we loved him because he played cricket like anything, and the country loved him. In 1983, Kapil Paji went on to get us the World Cup and he became our national hero. We loved him more. We loved him more. Kapil Paji played cricket for many years and retired one day. After retirement, he lived a good life. He was a good citizen. He was a good husband. He was a good father. Today he is a senior citizen. He talks, he still is an orator, he comes. But we have continued loving him because it doesn't matter Kapil Paji kaise dikhte hain. वो हमारे Kapil Paji and we love him. Let me give you one more example. When Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister of the country, he had replaced Pandit Nehru, a stalwart. बहुत ऊंचे कद का प्राइम मिनिस्टर था, and papers in US had written some nonsense stuff about his height because he was 5 feet something. But Shastri ji was a giant, we all know this. In 1965 पाकिस्तान को 4-5 बार समझाया प्यार से, वो धीमे बोलते थे, पाकिस्तान को समझाया कि बदमाशी मत करो, पाकिस्तान नहीं माना तो उन्होंने वॉर डिक्लेयर कर दिया, हमारी इंडियन आर्मी लाहौर तक पहुंच गई थी, पाकिस्तान ने घुटने टेक दिए, शास्त्री जी ने उनका गिरेबान पकड़ा, अमेरिका एंड रशिया हैड टू रिक्वेस्ट कि शास्त्री जी प्लीज प्लीज टेक बैक योर आर्मी, एंड आफ्टर दैट नोबडी मेड फन ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हु वाज 5 feet and something. दिल्ली के अंदर जमीन तय हो गई थी नेशनल डेयरी डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड के लिए, और प्राइम मिनिस्टर की साइन के लिए आए. शास्त्री जी सर व्हाट आर यू डूइंग, अगर सारे बोर्ड दिल्ली में ही बनेंगे, भारत तो गांव में बसता है. मैंने सुना है कि एक त्रिभुवन भाई पटेल हैं जिन्होंने अमूल बनाया है, वो कितना अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. नेशनल डेयरी डेवलपमेंट आपको क्यों दिल्ली में रखना है, आनंद में डाकर डालिए. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया शिफ्टेड हिज ऑफिस 3 days टू आनंद, और आनंद में नेशनल डेयरी डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड शास्त्री जी ने किया. The cumulative impact of the man who was 5 feet and something is so strong. We all can talk for 1 hour on Shastri ji, such is his life. But even after 6 decades, 60 साल के बाद, when I speak the name Lal Bahadur Shastri, just one emotion comes to our mind, and that is respect, respect and utmost respect. Because the cumulative impact, his physical look did not matter even then or now. Look at Abdul Kalam. Look at Ajit Doval. Look at our fathers, हमारे घरों में. Look at our grandfathers. Look at our uncles. We love them. हमारे जिंदगी में उनका इतना इम्पैक्ट है. हमारे दोस्त, हमने कभी नहीं देखा कि वो कैसे दिखते हैं, लेकिन उनका एक क्यूमुलेटिव इम्पैक्ट है. तो अगर आप एक स्ट्रॉन्ग ब्रांड बनना चाहते हैं, तो आप लुक्स के कॉम्प्लेक्स से नहीं, यस इट इज ट्रू कि यू शुड बी नीटली ड्रेस्ड, प्रॉपरली ड्रेस्ड, वो ठीक है, बट लुक्स के कॉम्प्लेक्स से निकलिए और अपने पर्सनालिटी में आप इंपैक्ट क्रिएट कीजिए, और द क्यूमुलेटिव इंपैक्ट ऑफ योर पर्सनालिटी विल मेक अ स्ट्रॉन्ग ब्रांड, पर्सनल ब्रांड आउट ऑफ यू. नाउ द लास्ट पॉइंट, द 7th बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक इज सक्सेस. वी ऑल बिलीव कि हम सक्सेसफुल होना इजी नहीं है, क्योंकि लोग जेलस हैं, लोग कॉपरेट नहीं करते, लोग हमारी टांग खींचते हैं, लोग एंश्योर करते हैं कि हम न जीतें. ये हमारी नॉर्मल धारणा है. इन आई डोंट रिमेंबर द ईयर, 72, 73, आई डोंट रिमेंबर द ईयर, बट व्हेन धीरूभाई अंबानी उन्होंने IPO निकाला था रिलायंस का, तो धीरूभाई हैड डाउट्स. तो धीरूभाई ने कॉमन मिडिल क्लास है, क्योंकि वो वहां से आए थे, उन्होंने मिडिल क्लास लोगों को अपील किया. उन्होंने कहा मेरे रिलायंस का शेयर खरीदिए, 15 साल में मैं इतना पैसा कमाऊंगा कि आप अपनी बेटियों की शादी कर सकते हो, मेरा शेयर बेचकर आप अपने लिए घर खरीद सकते हो. बिलीव मी, मुझ पर विश्वास कीजिए. द कंट्री ट्रस्टेड दैट मैन, एंड एग्जैक्टली आफ्टर 15-18 ईयर्स, जिन लोगों ने 10-10 हजार के शेयर खरीदे थे, वो शेयर बेचकर जो कॉमन मिडिल क्लास के लोगों ने, लाखों लोगों ने अपनी बेटियों की शादी की, लाखों लोगों ने अपने लिए घर खरीदा. किसी को धीरूभाई के सक्सेस से प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, क्योंकि धीरूभाई डिड नॉट अचीव सक्सेस एंड फॉर हिमसेल्फ. उन्होंने अपने साथ लाखों लोगों को, आज भी हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उनके सक्सेस से, उनके बेटों के सक्सेस से, बट व्हाट होल्ड्स ट्रू फॉर हिम holds true for us also. In our endeavor, when we are doing something, when you are trying to move ahead, always look behind. पीछे देखो, किसी का हाथ पकड़ो, किसी को अपने साथ ऊपर उठाओ. You have read lot of books on self-help, but practice helping others. किसी न किसी को ऊपर उठाइए. आप देखिएगा कि आपके सक्सेस के लिए प्रार्थना करने वाले, आपके सक्सेस के लिए आपको साथ देने वाले और आपके साथ जुड़ने वाले लोगों की कमी कभी नहीं होगी, क्योंकि दे नो दैट इफ दे स्टैंड विथ यू, इट इज श्योर दैट दे विल सक्सीड, बिकॉज यू आर अ पर्सनल ब्रांड जो सिर्फ सक्सेस अपने लिए नहीं चाहता, औरों के लिए भी चाहता है. सो बेसिकली अ स्ट्रॉन्ग ब्रांड इज समथिंग, तो एनीथिंग दैट यू डू फॉर अदर्स, यू आर एन इटर्नल गिवर. So these are the 7 building blocks of a personal brand. Now we discussed the history of personal brand. How did personal brand come into being? What is not personal brand? What is personal brand, and what amounts to marketing of the self unapologetic marketing about the self. I also told you about the 7 building blocks of success. So basically, friends, personal branding is about personal transformation. As I said, when you make yourself the most important project, it is the most you have certain things in life which doesn't have a reversal. आप सुबह उठकर अगर एक्सरसाइज करते हैं तो उसका कोई रिवर्सल नहीं है, आप रोज एप्पल खाते हैं तो उसका कोई रिवर्सल नहीं है. पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग के लिए आप जो कर रहे हैं, इट इज वी आर बॉर्न. By just being born as a human being, you are complete and powerful. You are made with the same material that legends are made of. You are made with the same material that Narendra Modi is made of. You are made with the same material that Dhirubhai is made of. It's just that you need to explore it. You have it in you. You just have to create your own recipe. वो अपने आप जागृत नहीं होगी, आपको उसे जागृत करना पड़ेगा. And that is what gives you the liberation, sa vidya ya vimukte. So personal branding is that ultimate realization where you die with peace, having lived a good life. I will hold a workshop if possible, in which personal branding is so vast subject that it would need at least a day or 2 day workshop. For example, if you ask me how do we market ourselves on different things, then we will have to discuss it for 5 hours, and for that we need a workshop. So friends, I want to tell you one thing, कि आज आप लोग सब यहाँ आए हैं और आज आप जाएंगे. आई एम श्योर आप लोग सब बहुत अच्छा कर रहे होंगे लाइफ में, बट प्लीज रीथिंक about yourself and make yourself the most important project of your life. I am sure we all will succeed, you all will succeed. और इस पूरे process में you are not alone. I am with you. Please join with me on Twitter or social media. If you have any questions, I promise I will answer them, and I am there with you, and I wish you all the best. So friends, I could go on in the subject. I started my speech with the statement that personal branding is something close to my heart. I end my talk with the sentence that personal branding is very close to my heart. So please connect, and I have one request to you. You all are on social media. Please write something about today's experience. You may not write about me or my name, but please write about the subject. Please write how was your experience. Please write if you enjoyed it or did not enjoy. If you feel that मैंने बकवास किया है तो वो भी लिख देना. But please write about the subject. I would be very happy. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I'm always there with you. Please contact me anytime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Please have a seat.